Hello, everybody. I'm Erman. As you see on the headline, I just want to share with you how can you dive into history and archives with AI agents. In the last couple of weekends, I am digging into history and archive with the AI agents, and I realized that we can access the sources, history, stories in a deep archives with the AI agents unexpectedly good way. Okay, that's why I wanted to share how can you do it yourself, and also I want to share some of the experimentation I have done, readings I have done, and to be honest, it was very enjoyable with you. So let's dive into direct away. Let's start with one of the mosaic I love, the Alexander the Great mosaic. You see it in the background of the screen. Let's see how can we learn interesting insights about this mosaic. Okay, it's quite simple. So I just open the cloud code. It's in my terminal. I just write some question about it. So the Alexander the Great mosaic. Can you go to archive.org? So we need. I will give him as a source the archive.org, which is this website for actually the billions of, I think millions or if not billions, text, movies, software, music, everything. And inside of this internet archive, basically there is cuneiforms, there is Roman inscripts, there is archaeological writings, the traveler writings. There is every potential archives inside this website. This is a source. There are of course other sources like British Museum, whatever you can imagine, which I can show you later on. But this is a great source to use with the agents to find out interesting historical facts direct from the source. So now let me show you. So since this is the goal, the Alexander the Great mosaic, I just want to learn from, let's say, the first-hand sources, how they find it, etc. I was in the Pompeii a couple of years ago, and it was for me I'm a fan of the Alexander the Great. I've read books about it, and I really like it. But some questions I had for this mosaic, I need to maybe read books. But let's see what can my agents find out and how can I query myself direct from the history itself. So Alexander the Great mosaic, the one depicts Battle of Issus. Can you go through archive.org and learn from first-hand sources how it discovered and interesting insights. Use subagents if you think it will fasten the process. So this is just a trick I use, but you don't need to use that. So I write this. It's gonna work out. Let's see how is it the cloud code is gonna work out. Let me show you that. After that, I will share some of the findings I have done and how it works out. So as you can see, so I said use a subagent. That's a trick, but it doesn't necessarily need to do it. So it creates one subagent which is researching the mosaic discovery history. So I can see actually what it is looking for. I will start by loading the web tools and then research the Alexander mosaic discovery and excavation history. I think that's the gold part, right? In the 1800s, 1900s, many archaeologists or explorers at the time were writing and logging everything actually, and then those becomes books, and that's why we can have the first-hand sources what happened when they were excavating. Normally what we do is we read the books, and those historians are reading those books and creating a book of aggregating them in a book, and you read that book. So it's like second, third hand way of coming in, which is also fine because it's giving a history story in a properly formal way. But now, actually, with my subagent now, as you can see, it finding, for example, gel Pompeiana volumes. Probably this is one of the person excavated. This was a book about it. I think so. So while it's searching, it's gonna take a while, I think. Let me show you what I have done after this, more than this one. So I have created a website which, because I'm diving some part of the archives, finding interesting thing and just uploading here. So this is the Airman Reads, my just a publish area. Let me show you some of the interesting facts. So I think, yeah, we can check this one out. This was interesting. So as you can see, there are many things I have done. For example, the interesting part is I was in the London couple months ago, and I visited the House of Commons, UK Parliament. Since childhood, since the high school, I listened, I think, the hundreds of hours of House of Commons because I was learning English. Thanks to it, I learned my English, and it was great exposure, learning about many things, and I visited House of Commons. But at the time, I didn't know that I could dive into sessions of the House of Commons in the history. Okay, and as you can see, so I was very curious. What is discussed in the hundreds of years of UK Parliament, Turkey or Ottoman Empire? What was the discussion about it? Normally, I need to read all of them, right? But all the session scripts of the House of Commons is very big, but there is a archive, public archive, that you can reach them out. So my sub-agents went through all the sessions, and my question was simple. Turkey and Ottoman Empire, what's discussed in the UK Parliament? And from 1800 to 2004, I wanted a histogram graph as well. I could be able to see when it's discussed, what was the topic, and as you can see, the volume is increasing depending on the time. It worked like a charm. It read every session. My sub-agent read every session on the House of Commons, looked for Turkish or Ottoman Empire keywords. If there is such session, read them all, accordingly recap, and get this to here, and put also as a graphical graph part. As you can see, in the, let's say, in the Crimean War in the Ottoman times, it's discussed a lot. And then now I can reach that person. Let's say in the Crimean War, as you can see here, on the bottom, I can just show you. I guess here, for example, yeah, war with Russia, the Queen message. I think it should be Queen Elizabeth I or Victoria at the time. I don't remember. But as you can see, in the 1854, the Commons sitting, Lord sitting, I can learn literally what the MPs are talking about, that time. If I want to do it, I can do it. And also my agent already gave me the juicy part here, like we are intimate alliance with the neighboring government, which was etc. etc. So I can literally see the perspectives directly, the source itself. So this was one of the interesting part, because I listen a lot of times the House of Commons, but this one really gave me the wow, I can literally go through all the sessions, whatever question I have. The breadth search capability with agents now, unbelievable with the AI. So this was one of the part, and but before that I wanted to go to before ancient era, the Sumerian times. Sumerian times in Mesopotamia, the Babylon times, 3000 BC, 2000 BC. We had many cuneiforms. Okay, let me show you some of the examples here because they are interesting. So we have many cuneiforms like this. Okay, they are digitalized, and many of them translated. So let's say this is Akkadian language. clay, done with the clay, and it's a letter. Okay, it's a letter, and it's in the collection of the National Museum of Iraq, and the period is Old Babylonian. Okay, like this is very very old. And what I did was I went to my agents. I wanted my agents to go through all of them, and find me interesting stories, and just give me an article about it. I want to read it. Like this one is, for example, very very fun. You can see there's like copper merchant. There's a copper merchant in the Babylonian time, and seems like this guy selling copper, but not delivering the copper some of the customers. So some customers are angrily and probably rightfully wrote a letters to this copper merchant and complain about it. You know, like to a Nashir speak. Thus says Arbitrum, look, I make myself small at your side. You handed copper over to your own creditors, but to me you keep refusing to give any. Why have you not given to my copper? If you do not give it, I will haul in your pledges. Seize your collateral, give me this good copper, and send the man over. So this can be the first customer complaint in the history, okay? And as you can imagine, we have maybe, I don't know, 30,000, maybe more, maybe 10 times of it, cuneiforms. I cannot read them all. If I need to read them all, it will take years, right? But with my agents, I really should have said, let's go for it. Let's see it. Find me interesting stories out of them. Find me some connections you didn't do it, and let's learn about it. You know. And as you can see, get them out before they die in the debt cell. For example, some story here as well. So many interesting stories out of it in the Babylonian time. I had done many other searches, which I need to say these are public archives. You know, you need to check of course the right of it, but most of them are public archives, and under the fair use you can go for it after the check in the rights section. So yeah, that's the thing. I'm interested on it. Let's go back. Our agents are working now. Could they find something useful? So what we have, so I have got the 2 archive research agents running and gathering complementary reason analysis material myself. I'll wait for the agents to return. So seems like still they're working. Let's see what they are doing. Yes, Alexander mosaic fallen Persian face reflected in shield burnished. Great, one of the agents finished the job, went through many sources, and I guess the other one is also almost done. Yeah, the other one is gonna probably end up as well. One of them is finished. Yeah. So I think in the next years, what I think is the way of we perceive history is gonna change, transform. I mean, for example, we are gonna go to museum. Normally on museum, the way the curators put things onto there is, for example, the audio guide, right? Or there's a signage, books about the museum itself. That's the way how you interact with the museum, right? What I think in the next years, with this AI agents, I think every museum is gonna be sort of like a movie. You know, you will go to it, you will have so much fun that you will feel that you just went for a movie. So you will see an artifact. In our case, the Alexander the Great mosaic. You will learn everything about it. You will just ask a question, and maybe like little detail here, like spare. Why the spare? Is that so? Where else this sort of spares are being used in other mosaics? Agents just gonna go for it and give you the best sourced replies ever. That's why I believe the way of we interact with the history is gonna be changed a lot, and it's gonna be a lot of fun. You know, now even whenever I go, I just use now the archive work with my Cloud Code agent, and my experience, my understanding of the world becomes much more crystal clear. So what we have here, the Alexander mosaic from the ground at Pompeii to Naples Museum. What's it? Yes, it found it. These are okay. How it was discovered. The first hand record. Yeah, it found it. The single most authoritative primary source is official Bourbon excavation journal. Look, I mean the excavation was happening there, so the journal was there. And my agent literally found that journal, read it all, and now telling me the moment how it was surfaced. What does it say? The July-December 1831 report announces the find in the middle of the etc. floor. It was in fact discovered on the 24th day of October and is of a style and execution superior to anything known from antiquity of this kind. So the discovery date is fixed, 24 October. So this is the first, I think, log that how it was discovered. First and log and record. So it was a royal excavation. The crews did it. I can read about the history, like story, about who ordered it. The king with the Ferdinand II and the royal family attended in person. The journalists record them present at the house of the faun, and even the king person lifting the bronze inscription letters one by one. Probably this one by one is in the journal. You know, I think that's and the person who wrote the journal, whatever he wrote, whatever he recorded, we directly reach it. I think that's the beauty of it. Like normally all history books I have read in the past, it was always aggregation, you know. I mean, for sure the story was fun, for sure the narrative was good because of the historians, but that directly touching to the reality was always a bit like middle layer. There was a layer, and yeah, I mean, the public domain description captures drama. August Mao, Pompeii, its life and art. At the head of the Greek horsemen rides Alexander, fearless, unhelmeted. The long spear of the terrible Macedonian is piercing the side of the Persian noble, whose horse sinks under him. The driver of the Darius' chariot is putting the lash to the horses, but the fleeing king turns with an expression of anguish and terror to witness the death of his courtier. Yeah, it's just it's really good. Like I can dive into it and learn more about it, but that's I think that's that's as great as the invention of the writing. You know, we can read everything, we can reach everything now, and learn about things it used to be very costly to observe and learn. Yeah. So I wanted to share with you this one. I hope it was useful. Sorry for my camera. Everywhere is dark now for my camera. But I hope the video was fun. If you have any idea or if you're interested in this topic, reach me out. I would like to talk about it. I can't stop thinking about it. Just let me know what you think. Let's collaborate. Let's learn together. Thank you for watching.